morning everyone, how are you doing? This is Amanda. It's the 17th of September 2020. It's the Virgo New Moon and I'm going to be doing a reading on the energy around that, but we're also going to be tracking forward over the last part of September. I'm actually already picking up the Libran energy as well, which doesn't kick in until later on this month, but feels as though it's already here. Or I don't know whether it's just that I want it to be here because I'll tell you about that in a moment. There's something about Libra and the scales and balancing everything out. So it's as though we're all craving that balance that Libran season I think is going to help deliver. But anyway, before we get to all of that, let's just see how you all are. And let's just note today's energy. So yes, we have got a Virgo New Moon on the 17th. Feels very soft, very gentle to me, very friendly. I hope it's not one of those moon phases that then bites me on the backside a few days later, because that has happened before. It's like, oh, this is really quite nice, really quite enjoying this energy, and then wham. But no, I don't feel so. I actually feel as though this is okay. I can do Virgo New Moon. Personally, getting out of the fiery season of Leo, I breathed a sigh of relief this year, and that's not because I've got anything against Leos. I'm Leo rising myself. I just think there's so much fire energy in our world at the moment that we need these softer energies coming in. So I'm all for celebrating Virgo and its earthiness and Libra to come as well. And yeah, there's just this soft vibe today. If Virgo New Moon was a colour, what would it be? So I'm looking at my range of sprays and I'm thinking, what would it be? And to me, it's actually pretty obvious. That's not to say that my answer is the only one. It's just that it is, to me, quite obvious. I'm going to show you the spray, but equally I've also got my Andara crystals here, and it's quite funny because they are the colours that I'm seeing on the spray as well. So Mother Mary is the one that I'm going to be bringing up. Perfect match there to the colours in that bottle. Beautiful sort of soft violet and a beautiful dusky pink. Just gentle, gentle, gentle energy. Virgo, of course, is also associated with the Virgin, and you know, Mother Mary, whether you believe it or not, is associated with the virgin birth. So there's a link there as well. I'm going to give us all a burst of the Mother Mary spray in a moment, but I must also say, because you know me and my musical references, I was taken to Procol Harum, A Greater Shade of Pale, maybe for very obvious reasons, because it talks about Vestal virgins in that song. But it's also just the whole mood of it, which is quite melancholy. But I don't know, I've always liked melancholy songs. So to me, I'm sort of in heaven when I'm listening to that type of stuff. But it just feels very soft, which is why I'm liking it today. So that's a shout out for that song. And as I was listening to it, actually, old song from 1967, year I was born, so I've been around that song my whole life. My parents used to play it when I was a kid. As I listened to it again today, just to get into the vibe for this video, I thought, what the hell is this about? What? It's a bit like American Pie by Don McLean. You listen to the lyrics, it's like, what the hell is this about? So I had a little Google, and it's one of those songs which people are not sure. But some people are saying it's an ode to excess, too much drink, too much wine, too much women, all of that. And so if that is the case, quite interesting, because we've got this energy coming up in the days and weeks to come, but I think it's already here, which is trying to balance us out, trying to balance out our excesses. Whatever that means, it's going to mean different things to different people, but just trying to get back on track in terms of balance with our body, with our health, with what we eat, with how we behave, with our emotions, etc. So yeah. Anyway, let's go to Mother Mary. Let's spray some of this, and then we will get going with some of the messages that want to come through. So let's just link into Mother Mary And look at the way that's shining, the light's shining on this bottle. How beautiful is that? So her energy is really here, and of course the divine feminine energy that goes with that. Okay, ready? So just welcoming in Mary's energy. And what I'm seeing is a beautiful cloak. She's coming forward in a beautiful cloak. Robe might be a better way to describe it, but it is actually over her head as well. It's in soft material. It's almost as though she's wearing a hug. That's the only way I can describe it. It looks as though she's wearing a hug and she's wanting to extend that to us. So it's like a communal energy of togetherness and love and extending the hand of help and support. So she's just coming in that very beautiful maternal way to everybody, including the animals. And I know I keep talking about the animals, but I can hear Bella downstairs and her tail is slamming against the floor. I can hear it down there. So yeah, as soon as Mary came in, Bella reacted. I heard that. Right, let's get to the messages then for today. I've already drawn 6 cards because I just wanted to have a feel for what we're doing here today. And I will pull more, but I'll just tell you what I've got out already. I've taken the first lot of cards from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck by Krans, and they are these. We've got this card which came out in a previous reading, the box. We've also got the Mystic, and we've got the Poet. Now I'm going to read these as one, okay? I'm reading them as one. I do just need to put them down so I can tune into them. I'll show you them again in a moment. So what they're saying to me is that this year, it's actually about this year, 2020, what are we going to pull out of the box as a collective, but also ourselves? What is going to be the end result from the experiences, the challenges, the gifts, but the difficulties of 2020? What are we going to pull out of the box? We've got here the butterfly, which is a symbol of transformation, of course. So it's almost as though through 2020 up to this point, we've been like the caterpillar in the box, okay? The caterpillar has been there waiting to break free. But it's more than just that. This is about what is going to be the end result from this year for you. So, for example, if we just project ourselves forward to 31st of December 2020, and we're about to go into the new year of 2021, what will be very tempting to do, but what is absolutely the thing not to do, is to be in the energy of, oh, good riddance to 2020. That was a bummer of a year. You know, how horrible was that? Look what it's done to me. Look where I am now. Thank God, you know, tomorrow's a new year. It's going to be all different tomorrow. And then you wake up on January the 1st, 2021. And actually, of course, you're the same person because you don't transform overnight. The world is a little bit different because there's new energy that's come in, but it's still the world, okay, with the problems that are inherent within it. So we need to get to a place now whereby we are starting to acknowledge with gratitude the gifts that 2020 is giving us through the challenges. Because the truth is that you grow through many things. You can grow through, of course, blessings and love and all the rest of it. But what I have noticed, certainly in my life and in the life of many of my clients and my friends and just people I know, is that the biggest breakthroughs and the biggest growth often comes through adversity. So we've had a year, 2020, which has been filled with a lot of adversity and circumstances also that have been out of our control to a degree. So what are you going to do with that? Are you going to become the victim of that, you know, and sink into victim energy in terms of, you know, what has happened? Or are you going to rise like the butterfly? This is also the card of the mystic, and be able to transform these experiences into something really quite deep, something quite meaningful, something very profound, whereby you're making big changes to your life, both internal and external. And they need to be done with the energy of the poet. And what I mean by that is the energy of creativity, okay? This is not textbook stuff in terms of, okay, we've had these problems, this is what we do to remedy it, and then we get to this place. This is breaking out of a box, okay, which is actually like a maze. We all find ourselves in a bit of a maze. We can't see the way forward. You know, I have that in my life, not so much myself, although to a degree, but I certainly got it in my family, you know, with daughters who are teenagers, and, you know, the whole school system and jobs which aren't there, etc. Somehow, though, we're going to find a way out of this situation, and we're going to transform, and we're going to become the most amazing, beautiful butterfly you've ever seen in your life. But we're going to have to do it via creative means. What does that mean? It means you've got to get in touch with the creative aspect of you. I was with my mum, bless her, yesterday, and mum, I love her to death, but she's always a glass half empty type of person. And my daughter was just showing some of the artwork that she's been doing recently to my family. I had a nice family day yesterday with people visiting. And mum straight away said, oh, well, of course, I can't do that. I'm not artistic. And we've all heard ourselves say that to a degree. And I'm not judging it, because I can hear my voice now saying, oh, I can't do maths. We all do it in different ways, but we're talking about creativity here. So if you're somebody that's like, well, I'm not creative, you know, I haven't got a creative bone in my body, that's what mum would say. Well, find it, okay? Find it. Find your funny bone. Find the reflex that is within you, because we all have got it. It doesn't mean you've got to become an artist, a poet, a dancer, a cook, whatever, but it does mean that you need to find a creative way to work your way out of the box. Metatron's actually saying it's a bit like Houdini. It's actually like we're in an energy of Houdini at the moment, whereby some of us are feeling very chained up by circumstances, not knowing how we're going to get to the destination we need to get to, but somehow, some way, it will happen. And it will happen because of ourselves and the actions we take and the mindset that we have and the consciousness that we hold, which is the opposite of, oh God, you know, oh my God, you know, and this has happened and that's happened and, you know, woe is me, total victim energy, to, okay, I acknowledge this is difficult. No one's saying it's not, but I rise, okay? I rise like the phoenix from the ashes, and I am going to create something extraordinary out of this year's experience. We're seeing it everywhere. We're seeing businesses that are maybe failing, and people are having to go back into different types of occupation, things they've never thought of before. I was talking about that yesterday as well to somebody. You know, a job, the route is now no longer clear, so having to go back and retrain. And yeah, it's difficult, isn't it, when you are beyond a certain age to do that. But it can be done. It can absolutely be done. It's whether you've got the motivation and the mojo to be able to do it. And the interesting thing about this new energy coming in with Virgo, which to me is, well, the sign of it's linked into the Virgin, but the feminine energy within Virgo, it's asking us to do that motivation and get that mojo in a more feminine way, in a softer way. That phrase that I'm always saying, it's like you can't fight it right, you can only love it right, is the truth. So rather than just going like a bull in a china shop to a situation that needs to be changed, it's about using a different energy, a different approach to bring about what you actually wish to manifest. Effectively, what I'm really saying is it's manifesting in a softer, more feminine way. And I feel as though that's being birthed today with this Virgo new moon. But it doesn't just end today, of course. You know, this is to do with the next chapter of 2020. Some of you keep referring back to something I said at the start of this year, or Metatron brought through, which was that 2020 I was shown was going to be divided into 4 different sectors. And, you know, we can sort of quibble over, well, which sector are we in now, and when does one stop and when does another one, you know, begin? The beginning of the year, we were talking, particularly on this channel, we were talking about the fires, you know, and I know the fires are still burning now in the West. We've also had the virus. We've had different things coming in. We've been looking at issues such as air and quality of air. But I feel as though this is a significant chapter now that's coming in, linked into the way that we manifest and how we manifest in a different way. So that's the first message that comes out. Then I pulled some cards from the Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. And these are the 3 that I've got. And I'm going to read these in a slightly different way as well. We've got the Chariot, we've got the 8 of Cups, and we've got the Hanged Man. Okay, we've got the Chariot, the 8 of Cups, and the Hanged Man. And I pulled them twice because that Chariot card I kept seeing it. It was on the bottom of the deck, and I was seeing it, and I was thinking, but I'm not sure, but aren't we supposed to be doing this in a softer way now? This is the energy that I'm feeling. It's soft, it's much more fluid, it's not charging ahead, you know, gripping onto the reins. It's not that. But then, you see, it makes sense because we've got it with the 8 of Cups and the Hanged Man, which to me is saying that yes, we're going to be moving forward, we're making changes, but we're walking away from the old way of doing it. Okay, we're leaving that behind. If you look at the card, he's walked through a doorway, he's walked through a portal, he's doing life in a different way. The Hanged Man is also very much about that as well. It's about the need for a different perspective. The old way is not working. I can't keep just charging ahead like I was, gripping onto the reins, gripping onto life for dear life. I have to walk away from that and do it in a different way. Now, I won't say in what area of life it is for me because it's a bit personal, but I will share something with you because I'm realising this is a collective thing that might be helpful for other people as well. In meditation the other day, I was thinking about a particular situation in my life and asking for help. And Metatron showed me, and you know, I often talk about, I reference whether it's cars, ships, planes, you know, they're all vehicles, they're methods of travel. So I was showing myself in this boat, trying to get from, you know, A to B, gripping hold of this steering wheel, you know, for dear life. And Metatron just came in, and if this is resonating, let him do it for you as well. He came in and he just said, let go of the wheel, Amanda. Can you let me take over, please? And I'm like gripping on. It's like, no, I know where I need to be going. But more than anything, I'm laughing, but actually it was because I couldn't let go of the control in terms of how I expected this to happen or how it was going to manifest. And he actually told me, he took the wheel, and what was interesting was there was like sweat marks on the wheel, and there was also indentations on the wheel where I'd been gripping so tightly. And he said, guys, can you go and sit down behind, please? And there was a chair behind the steering wheel. And I just sat there, and then there was a little window as well, so you could look out at the scenery. And he's still there. He's steering the ship. So for me, it was a moment of real breakthrough. Actually, it really helped me to let go of control. And the thing about it is that that's an analogy, and I think some of you are going to resonate with it. But we've heard it before. But it's like anything. Sometimes you can hear things or you can see things, but they're presented in a slightly different way, and you just get it, even though a similar thing might have been said 6 months ago. But I guess it's to do with being ready to actually relinquish control and surrender. And basically, you see, what this is all about is saying, okay, I'm trusting that I'm moving forward in the right way, in the right time, in a new direction. But I'm not doing it the old way anymore because actually the old way wasn't working. It was actually draining me, etc. I'm going to do it a different way. The Hanged Man, I'm doing it a different way. And of course, Metatron is the energy of, you know, duality, dark and light. So fully aware of our shadows, our fears, but equally knowing where we need to be going. It's interesting, actually, this Chariot card. If you look at this Chariot card, I'm drawn to that white horse, and it really looks as though there's something it's not wanting to, it's shying away from something, isn't it? Can you see that? That's really interesting. I mean, the black horse, yes, I suppose you could say that as well, but I'm seeing it more in the white one, actually. There's this real like, oh, no, I'm going in the right direction, but somehow I don't want to. So what's that all about? Well, what that's probably about is that we're frightened of our light. We're frightened of the promise of something greater than we can actually imagine, which is why we self-sabotage, which is why we say we surrender, but yet we don't really. You know, this is what I'm trying to say to you, that I had this moment where I know I truly surrendered and I let go of the control of the wheel. And now it's like, okay, no idea quite what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, whatever, you know, but it's all good. You know, I'm just like looking out the window and it's actually quite nice. Now, that doesn't happen that often, guys, okay? This is another important thing to say. This moment doesn't happen that often, because certainly with a guide such as Metatron, and if you're watching me, you're around the energy of Metatron, because everything that I do in all of my videos, whatever I'm doing, even if I don't mention him, he's my main guide. He's the, you know, here he is behind me, okay? Just a representation. Metatron is always about, no, you've got to do it. You've got to take the steps and then I'll help. The reason he took the wheel, in my case, and I'm feeling for a lot of you, this is also a possibility, you just have to ask for it, is because I've already taken loads of steps, okay? He's never ever going to take the wheel when you've not even tried, okay? When you just haven't tried. So he only does it when he knows that you've done your absolute damn best. And actually, what he's shown me now is like a, what do they call it? Like a motorboat that's going round and round in circles, you know? And okay, do I want to share that? No, I will share that because I'm always honest. He's saying it was getting exhausting watching you, Amanda. This isn't business, guys. This is personal, okay? So, yeah, you know, and he says that with love, because the thing is, I'm sharing that with you, not because I want to show everything, but because I know damn well that it's resonating with a lot of you, that a lot of you, respectfully, have been going round and round in circles, trying to get to your destination, but self-sabotaging or trying to control it, or, you know, that basically. So this is the case. Do it in a different way. Okay, so two different messages there. That one, and then the previous one about, this is something for you to reflect on more than anything with this new moon. What are you going to pull out of the box this year? What are you pulling out of the box this year? Okay, now some of you might have already pulled it. You might have already started a new business. You might have created a new positive, I don't know, behavior in your life. You might have got a new goal. You might have a new relationship. You might, you know, it might be health related. I don't know what it is, but what are you going to pull out of the box of this year so you don't get to the end of the year and join the whole chorus? And Metatron says it's going to be so loud. He's rolling his eyes a bit. Don't be part of that chorus, which is, oh, thank God 2020's over. Roll on 2021. If you do that, what we're in danger of creating is another year of challenge, because if you don't get the lessons, I'm sorry to say, the lessons keep coming back. They do. Why would they not? If you've had a year which is supposed to have been there, which is here to make us dig deeper than we've ever dug before, to find out more about ourselves than we've ever found out before, good and bad, to come together as one, and all the things I've been talking about for months, to be honest. I'm not going to repeat myself. It's all there in my past videos. All the time I've talked about, for example, the virus this year, I've tried to talk about it not from the higher perspective, but also in terms of, okay, what can we learn from this? What are the lessons? What are we supposed to be doing? I've talked about masks. I haven't gone down the road that others have gone down. I've tried to show you that it's an opportunity, for example, to see me, to see you, to see another, to see into the soul, to bring in, for example, energies of greater telepathy and intuition. If you truly look into somebody's eyes, you see everything that's there, okay? Have you taken that? Have you looked at that as an opportunity? Have you done it? Have you done it? Have you not? What Metatron is wanting us to do and get to a place is by the end of 2020, but it'd be nice if we could do it today, is to actually say, thank you 2020 for the gifts that you've given me. And I'm saying that knowing that some of the things that have happened have been really, really difficult. I'm just seeing loads of rubble, lots of people's lives that have been turned upside down, the hanged man, everything being turned on its head. I thought I was this, but now I'm not because I don't have the job. I thought I was this, but now I'm not because, I don't know, the relationship has fallen apart. The divorce rates, during lockdown have just rocketed through the roof. But yet, if you look deeper at that, it's happening to relationships that have done their time. Okay? It's the truth. So is that a tragedy beyond tragedy, or is that actually freeing yourself so that you get out of a relationship, for example, or a job, or any situation that was no longer serving you? Yes, it's bloody difficult to be in the rubble when you're trying to rebuild, but remember, Metatron takes a longer term view of everything and a higher perspective view of everything. So from the rubble, you start to rebuild. And you build something better. That's the whole point. You build something better. So I'm just remembering one of the things he said to me was he gave me a sort of title for this video before I even started, which was Redirection, or a redirection stroke turning point is where we're at right now. And it seems to come on the cusp of this new moon in Virgo and the Libra season that's coming in. The other thing I was shown today is that, in fact, maybe we'll just do this. So if we just tune into our chakra system for one moment, okay, and start off with your feet. And we're just going to do this very quickly because I don't want you to all go off into a different altered state and then it's hard to get you back and then you don't listen. No disrespect, but that's what happens in meditation. So I just want you to just tune in very quickly to your chakras because you can do this off camera, not listening to me. So you're noticing where they all are. From Earth Star to base chakra to sacral, solar plexus, heart, higher heart, throat, altar major, third eye, crown, soul star, stellar gateway. And then what you can do in any portal, any moon phase, you can bring down the energy of the new moon in Virgo. Okay, so you can do that yourself. You don't need me to do that for you. You can just bring that down. But then what I was shown beyond that, which is the bit I want to get to now, is I was shown a set of scales over our heads. And again, I'm not wanting to really do this now. It's almost like a sneak preview because we're not quite into Libra season yet. But yet, I sort of time travel all over the place. So I'm sort of already there, but as I'm trying to be present and just do this, but I'm telling you what's coming up. I'm seeing the scales over our head. And for some of us, the scales are like, they're totally out of kilter. We're going to be positioned back into a more balanced state. This is also to do with our masculine and our feminine energy as well, but it's also to do with anything that's out of balance in our life. And what I'm being shown for some people is, and it's not a negative because it's all about rebuilding, it's about letting go of the old. I'm being shown one of those dumper trucks. I bet that phrase does not translate. We call them dumper trucks here. Okay, you know when kids have, little boys have the little toys. My brother had them, the dinky toys, and he had one. It was a truck, and then the truck just drops its load. So all the sand is just dropped onto onto wherever. That's what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing like a dumper truck in terms of the scales, because some of what's out of balance. Okay, if you've got scales that are out of balance, and this can be linked into anything in your life, but you're holding on for grim death to what's in this unbalanced part. What spirit are doing are just like, okay, it's like the dumper trucks. You're like, no, you are going to let go of that. You are going to let go of that. And you're going to let go of that, you know, including people like me that might be kicking and screaming and hanging onto that steering wheel for dear life, until you get to a moment where you just think, okay, actually, yeah, let's do it a different way. Let's do it a different way. But it's to do with this feminine energy. I've got a really pronounced masculine energy, even though I'm a woman. I've got more a masculine energy within me. I've got a lot of drive and motivation, always have had. But even me, the last few weeks, it's like, it's not just because I'm tired. I am tired, but it's not just that. It's just like, no, I'm just not going to do it in that way anymore, you know. And actually what's happening is the to-do list is piling up and getting higher and higher and higher. But it's like, yeah, it is what it is. I'm sorry if I owe any of you emails, I probably do. But I'm just being honest. This is the energy. And I'm, more than anything, I'm an energy intuitive. I read the energy. So if the energy is saying just sit back, chill a bit, relax, it's all taken care of. Yes, of course, you've got to do what's important and what you're committed to. But, you know, all the other stuff, look at that to-do list. Look how big it's getting. Look at that. Actually, and then there's just like this wind comes in the window, and it's just like, actually let 2/3 of that go. You don't need to be doing 2/3 of it. And that's to do with also overcommitting and like saying yes to things. And then it's like, actually, there's only 24 hours in a day, and I need to sleep for half of that, and then I need to eat, and then I need to exercise, and I sort of need to say hello to the people I live with, etc. You know, we're all in the same boat. We're being asked to do less. Or not even so much less, it's just doing it in a different way. It's doing it in a different way. It's this. It's walking away from the old way. Let's pull a few more cards. Which deck shall I go to? Let's go to the Starseed Oracle by, who's done this? Rebecca Campbell and Danielle Noel. Talking about balancing things out. Thank you to Anne in Canada, who sent me some bracelets. And what's lovely about these bracelets is they are symbolic of the masculine and feminine. So I've got lava stone linked into the masculine, Swarovski crystal linked into the feminine, and stainless steel, which binds the two or aligns the two. I love that. Thank you, Anne. Very, very sweet. And you sent 2 for my daughters. They love them as well. Thank you for that. Right, let's go forward. What messages, Virgo New Moon, going into the end of September, do we have from this deck, please? Do we have a message from this deck? Interesting. Okay, got 2. What have I been talking about so far for the last 33 minutes? It says, my will to thy will. That's exactly what I've been trying to express to you. I've let go of my will. I'm asking you to let go of your will and allow in thy will. It's that phrase, let go and let God in. Let go and let God in. Breath of the cosmos. My will to thy will. Micromanaging the universe. We don't even realise we're doing it. That's exactly what we're doing though. We're micromanaging the universe, and we're thinking that we know better than the universe. It's such ego, isn't it? It really is. I talked for Lionsgate about ego death that needed to happen. And I mean, that's an ongoing process, you know, that the ego needs to be kept in check as well and balanced out. And this is another aspect of it, you know. Why on God's name do we think that we can manage the universe better than the universe? I know we're part of it, but it's a bit like the analogy of teamwork. We think that we can do it all ourselves, whereas actually if you work as a team, you'll do it a lot better. So that's brilliant. Breath of the cosmos. Yeah, it's just let God in, basically. And then we've got this beautiful card. I'm going to pull another one that goes with this. Let me show it to you. It says the golden children. Funny, I was just talking about my children, wasn't I? My girls. And then I pulled this card. The golden children. It says inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. Now, what I'm hearing is we talk a lot about these new kids coming in, the crystal kids, whatever you want to call them. And yes, they are coming in with extraordinary spiritual gifts. Please remember that everything is a reflection of everything else in the universe. So yes, they've got them, but if you're noticing them, it means that you've got them within you as well. What they're actually doing is they're reminding you that you have them, that you have the ability as well. So say, for example, you've got a crystal child who, I don't know, is just very gifted, maybe very telepathic, just knows. More than anything, they just know. They just know. And they trust, and they have, from my experience of watching them, extraordinary willpower as well. And so if you're noticing that, actually, they are reminding you that you've got it within you. I have to be honest here, and this is not I'm not very proud of this, but my elder girl, who I don't talk about as much, but she's on a juice cleanse at the moment, and she was doing really well. It's 3 days of juicing, and then on the first day, right at the end of the day, she had a moment of weakness and went to the fridge and sort of said, "Oh, Mum, I'm hungry. You know, what can I have to eat?" And I could see that she didn't really want to eat anything. She didn't want to break her fast, as it were, her cleanse. And rather than me encouraging that and sort of saying something helpful, I did it. I did that thing which you shouldn't do, which is like, oh, why don't you just have some beans on toast? Have some pasta if you want it. That was my stuff. That was my stuff, which is the fact that I can't do a bloody 3-day cleanse. She can. She completely just pushed away the temptation energy that was there, and is still, she's on day 3. She's done really well with it. But can you see, it's like, so they're reflecting and they're triggering us as well. Anyway, the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. So also they are reminding us of our own tenderness and our own innocence as well, in a world that so desperately, desperately needs that. So desperately needs that. It's been a volatile couple of months in the spiritual community as well. It really has. It's been ever so bumpy. I'm hoping that people are starting to become a little bit more sane and balanced. And I'm not talking about people that watch me. I'm talking about stuff I'm seeing on other channels. I'm sensing there's Metatron's saying there's a redirection and turning point back to the light. Okay, as a lot of people got distracted, and it was a very angry, irate, judgmental energy. And very controlling in terms of the world is a certain way and this is what's going to happen, doom and gloom basically. I feel as though we're remembering that actually to bring about the changes that we need in our world, including changes linked into the injustices that are absolutely there, we can't fight it right. We have to love it light. We have to focus back on this. The children are reminding us of that. The children have been amazing anchors this year, I personally feel. They really have. I was listening to the radio the other day in the car, and I don't know, it was one of these silly, phone-in things where they're trying to win a prize. I don't know what it was, but anyway, the point was that there was a mum, and she must have said something along the lines of, the kids have gone back to school. And the DJ made a presumption. He said, "Oh, I bet you're glad about that, aren't you? Got the house to yourself." And she said, "Actually, no, I miss them." And he was like, oh, all right. And I thought, yeah, good on you, love, because actually I felt as an empath, I could hear in her response, no, they were her anchor, that she loved having them at home, so no, she wasn't happy that they were back at school, all of that. So yeah, the kids have been the anchors. Right, let's see what else goes with that card, the golden children. That looks a bit like the dream I had, doesn't it? That vision I had last December of the kids arriving in those little pods on the village green. Do you remember? They looked a bit like that. Very galactic as well. I mean, obviously this is a galactic deck. Starseed. What goes with the golden children? Star bathing. light body crystal grid transmission activation. I think what the children are trying to remind us of is that the children are very focused on the light. They're very focused on the light. They understand that it's really important to focus just on that. I have just to tell you another story here before I get to the explanation on star bathing. Again, it's my crystal child. I'm not going to say who the artist is, but she's, you know, she likes music like they all do. And there's a particular star at the moment in our world who's very popular. Young, I'll just say she's a young female artist. And my daughter was into her for a little bit. And to be honest, I didn't say anything because I know that this particular artist is very dark. There's a very dark energy around this person. And I thought, no, best not, because, you know. Anyway, my daughter came up to me the other day and she said, she's dark, isn't she? She's dark. She said, I've let her go. She said, I've let her go. She said, I didn't like the imagery in the videos. I didn't like what she was singing about. She's dark, isn't she, Mum? And I said, yeah, she's dark, Soph. And then she said, there's another artist. She said, what about this person? Are they dark? And to be honest, I think they probably are. But I said, I'm not so sure. I said, why don't you? I wanted her to learn, her to discern, because she's years ahead of me anyway. She's 14. She's worked it out herself. She's realised that I can't listen to that. I can't look at that because it's of the dark. It's a dark energy that's coming through the music. So she's turned to the light. In terms of music, for example, she's listening to other people now. How profound is that? So yeah, let's go back to these cards for you. What the kids are doing is they're focusing on the light. They're remembering that. They know that. They're not even remembering. They know it. They're born with it. We're being asked to do the same. How do we do that as grown-ups, okay? With all our baggage and stuff that we do and responsibilities. Star bathing. You're being reminded to do some star bathing. It helps to balance out your light body, and you receive the activations and the transmissions that you need. So I'm very aware, some parts of the world you've got these terrible fires and smoke and you haven't got a lovely clear day like I have to go and sit in the sun and receive the codes. If you have got that, do that, okay? Or if you're in winter and it's starlight, go and do that. Sit in it, receive the codes from nature. If you're in a part of the world at the moment which is adversely affected by the weather and what's going on, then do it in astral, okay? You can do it in astral because this person is lying down in sleep, okay? They're just being asked to receive the codes, okay? Remember I was saying to you earlier, it's just about aligning the chakras. For me, I always work up from the bottom, so I'm working up from the Earth Star chakra, which is beneath my feet. And you can spend as long as you want or as short as you want on it. To me, I don't usually spend that long because I haven't got a lot of time. But I'm just noticing every chakra. I'm asking for it to open. I'm filling it with a colour. I've done all this work before. I've got meditations up on all of this stuff, okay? But then the final bit is just asking for the download for the particular day. Today is New Moon in Virgo. Ask for that download. But, you know, it can be any day. It's asking to receive the blessings and the light from the universe. Okay? I'm also hearing it's about receiving the blessings and the light from your soul group, you know, in spirit. I'm looking at this card that's on the bottom of the deck, which feels very linked into today as well. And this is Surrender to the Sweetness. And it says Venus energy. Pleasure, joy, and make love to life. I think I showed that one again in a previous video, but again, it's this softer way, it's this more feminine way. I mean, that is so Eden-like, isn't it? I keep referencing Eden because we need to keep referencing Eden. It's so easy to look around at our world and yeah, there's horror there. There's horror, there's darkness, there's bloodshed, there's fighting. But the more that we focus on that, guys, the more that we're going to create of that. We have to have in our mindset the balance, which is this energy of Eden, that was actually what I'm hearing was always our birthright. It was always our birthright. It was our... It's interesting because I was going to say it was our ego that pushed us out of it, but that's sort of not wrong. That's not right either, because the truth is it's all been part of the lesson that humanity had to go through to have that separation from God, to feel separated from God, and then to come full circle and realise you're not separate. You never were, actually. That God is here right now in this moment. God is here right now, you know, with the trees, with the animals. But we have to see the world through God's eyes. And if you actually look through God's eyes at anything in our world, anything, think of the most difficult thing that's out there at the moment. You can still, if you can see, what I'm being shown is God has the ability to be able to see that everything is repairable. Everything is repairable. Literally, I'm just being shown, everything is repairable. But do you believe that? Or are you just going to keep focusing on what's wrong? I know I talk about Facebook a lot, and I'm actually not on it as much anymore myself, but, you know, again, I just had a little look on my personal page today, and, you know, I filtered out a lot of stuff, to be honest, and said goodbye to a lot of people who were just posting the doom and gloom every single day, because I just can't, you know, from a mental health perspective, it's actually not good for you to be doing that. But again, there's more stuff today, and it's just like, really? Come on, you know, let's remember what the children are able to do. They're able to see, they're acknowledging it's there, but they're able to see past it into the reality that is coming in, because that's why they were born. That's why they're starseeds. Starseeds don't come down onto this earth and just think, oh my God, you know, what a shithole. And, you know, God, yeah, let's look at that, and look at that, and look at that. They acknowledge it's there, but they are able to see past it into a brighter future. And they have this godliness within them where they know it's repairable. They know it's repairable. Do you believe it's repairable? I do. I personally do. You can call me naive, you can call me all the names under the sun, but you're not going to change what I believe to be true. Because I believe in God. I trust in God. And it's easy to say, yeah, but where was God in this? Where was God in that? That's a whole video maybe for another day, and it's a good question to ask. But equally, remember, we have free will upon this earth. What you see is a man-created mess, but man can also create great beauty. Man can go back into Eden and truly appreciate it. And it starts with appreciating the moment and focusing on the light. Okay, let's just have a final card. I'm going to just pull it from this deck, which has been here, The Art of Love Tarot by Toni, Carmine, Salerno. This feels like there's one in here. Let's see what we get. I don't want to make this video too long, so I want to get it uploaded. Okay, one final card then, please, for today. Flexibility. Yeah, you know, I said in my previous video that the new A word linked into ascension is adaptability. Well, we've got flexibility. The new F word is flexibility, okay? But this is about flexible mindset. It's about, can you let go and let God in? Because to be able to do that, you've got to be flexible. You can't be rigid. You cannot be rigid in mindset, in anything. You have to be flexible. Look at this. We've got the ankh, the key in between the two trees. We've got the eye, which links into our third eye. I know it's the all-seeing eye, but you know, it's protection as well, but it's also the third eye. I'm able to see past what is here to something beyond. Do you know what Metatron means? Meta. Do you know what meta means? It means to go beyond. Meta means to go beyond. That's why Metatron is able to see beyond what's going on down here. Of course, he supports and loves anybody that's in trouble, but he's able to see beyond that to what is better and to help bring it in, to bring it into your life, to bring it into the collective. But we need to be working with him for that. And I rather love the fact that in this card, we've also got the sun shining. But again, the sun is the masculine energy. But again, the card of the energy of flexibility with the sun. There needs to be a more flexible energy coming into the masculine energy that we have within ourselves and within the world. Say goodbye to the old patriarchal energy. It's still there at the moment. I know it is. There's people who are embodying it beautifully in our world. It's almost like a grand finale is what I'm hearing. A grand finale of some people playing out the patriarchal energy beautifully for us to almost like have a final, you know, okay, yeah, round of applause, sort of. But, you know, yeah, let's get on to the next one, really. We've had enough of that. We've had 2,000 plus years of that, you know. Flexibility. Our masculine energy needs to be more flexible. And it's to do with working together. Look at that, the two trees, the roots. It's a beautiful thing about trees, walking in a forest. They all support each other. They all communicate with each other as well. They're there for each other. That the trees prop each other's trees up. I went for a walk in the forest a few days ago, and there were two trees a bit like that. There was one that had slightly fallen down. It wasn't dead, it was slightly fallen over, and the other tree was just supporting it. And you could actually hear, they were like, ee, ee, ee. I mean, yeah, to me they were talking to each other, but I could hear the conversation. It was beautiful. It was really beautiful. So I'm going to upload that, and I hope that has helped today. Take great care of yourself. Have a great new moon in Virgo. And I'm actually rubbing my hands together with anticipation and joy and alleluia that we've got Libra season coming. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring on those balancing scales. It'll all be good, okay? We'll go through it together. Much love. See you all soon. Please like and subscribe the video too. It just helps other people to see it. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye.